name's Janyce Mann, and I'm here to tell you about my journey in wildlife photography. First off, I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional photographer, but I consider myself a very lucky photographer. You know, it just seems that sometimes you're at the right place at the right time. Where we live on the north shore of Lake Ontario, and we're pretty lucky too because we're in a migratory path for birds. And I have seen so many birds. When I moved here, there's so many birds that I had not seen before. So naturally, I started taking pictures of them. My journey began when my dad gave me a Kodak Brownie camera. Kodak Brownie camera looked like a square box. You look through the top of it. It took black and white film. It had to be sent out to get it developed. My hope in my photography is that it reflects the spirituality that I feel in nature. My daughter Sarah says, that nature influences my spirituality, but photography is part of my soul. So I had to learn two things when I started this. I had to learn, number one, about nature and wildlife, and number two, I had to learn about photography. So I'm kind of hoping that what I've learned is something that's going to be able to help you. So first you have to get out in nature. I've talked to a lot of people, and what they say is, I go for a walk in the woods and I never see any wildlife. That's usually because they see you first. Okay? We walk along and we're going so fast that they all disappear. So the first thing I'm going to say is to walk really, really slowly, really quietly. Look and listen, because you're going to hear things sometimes before you see it. When you take pictures quickly. I like continuous shoot. That way I can get several photographs in a matter of seconds. I like going out in the morning. In the morning, wildlife wakes up. When the sun gets up, they wake up. Everything is active. There's lots going on, and I'm more likely to see something. And when I'm walking along, what I try and do is blend in. So I don't wear white. White sticks out like a sore thumb, but I try and blend in and try and not have them see me. And I kind of get into a position where maybe I'm behind a bush or a tree, and I wait. And I hear them, I'm watching, I wait patiently until I can see what I want. Time of year will affect what you see. In winter time, I love going to either Wolf Island or Amherst Island to see snowy owls. This is where they are, And what I find, like when I took a picture of a snowy owl, drive by in the car. My car is my blind, first of all, so I'm taking pictures from the car. We pull over, get out, we walk. But I walk slowly all the way around this bird, and I'm getting pictures from every angle. Next car comes by, sees what I'm doing, pull over fast, 4 doors open at the same time, everybody jumps out, and the bird's gone, and they missed it. And because they weren't slow, they put the bird made the bird move. Second is getting the picture. So bring your camera everywhere you go. Okay? Barred owl. Now I did get a picture of a barred owl, but I can remember one time we went grocery shopping. And who takes their camera grocery shopping, right? As we're coming back, we go through this wooded area, and there's a barred owl sitting on the tree. It's a perfect picture. I didn't have my camera. I didn't get the shot that day, but I had the pleasure of seeing him. I usually have two camera batteries, one in the camera and one being charged. I take the charger with me, plug it into the car. I have an extra CD or SD card. There's nothing worse than your card is full and you're trying to delete pictures because, you know, as you're trying to take pictures, trying to delete pictures. Your best source of light is going to be the sun. There is nothing more beautiful on a sunny day with a blue background, and the sun shines down and lights up your subject. Take lots of pictures. Okay, so creatures want to survive, and they see you as a threat. They're trying to keep distance between you and them. This is where your zoom lens comes in. I carry with me a 55 by 250 millimeter zoom. I can hang that around my neck, easy to carry. It's a Rebel T3 Canon. I take different pictures from different angles. And I usually, one of the first modes I use is the sports mode on there, because that's for action and has continuous shoot. So what I'll do in my blind, I'm hiding, I see something, I might crouch down low to look at it, or I might go up high, I might try and get up on something careful high. If there's twigs in the way, slowly move out of the blind and try different angles. Take your camera, turn it vertical or horizontal. You want a sharp image. To get your sharp image, you want your camera steady. Tripods are recommended, not always possible. If there's a railing or a fence, you can rest the camera on that. How you hold your camera. Have the grip here, support your lens there, bring your arms in close to your body so it's nice and steady and get a sharp image. What goes into that picture? Okay, you want an interesting subject. So, you know, a hawk or an eagle or a moose or an owl. You can't always get an interesting subject like that. Sometimes what you're seeing is a squirrel, but if you get that little squirrel with his mouth full of acorns, that makes it interesting. You know, if the background is blurry, your subject's going to stand out. You've got twigs or leaves, and the angle of them will draw your interest to the center point. If it's off center, that's suggesting movement. Contrast, soft fur against a rocky background. Picture of the porcupine. We were driving along. The highway was at eye level with the tree, and there he was. But learn from your mistakes and practice and practice and practice. So you get a camera, and it's got knobs and it's got buttons, and you go, holy cow. You get an owner's manual, comes with it. I sat there and I tried to read that whole book from cover to cover. My daughter was really great, gave me a book on photography. And again, I tried to read it from cover to cover. It was confusing, it was overwhelming. You know, I couldn't keep it in. So what I had to do, the photography book said, study your own owner's manual. I got out the manual and I just did it one section at a time. So I read the instructions, I pushed the buttons, I turned the knobs, I took pictures, I looked at the pictures. I looked at what was working and whether it was good or not, whether I liked it. I had to put into practice what was written in the book. And then once I got comfortable with one section, then I moved on to the other section. But the important thing is, get that camera in your hand. Be ready to take pictures and keep trying. So when you get all those knobs and buttons and settings, on your camera is going to be one similar to, the easiest one is on my camera is called Scene Intelligent Auto. And basically the camera sets everything for you and you get to shoot and point. Okay, the one I like to use is sports. I think I just mentioned that. I use sports because it's continuous shoot and I get lots and lots of action. When I'm getting action pictures, lots of pictures in a short period of time. You're changing the setting, you're changing the light, you change the mood, you change the effect. When you're changing the settings, you're controlling the creativity. That manual is going to explain how to change the settings. That manual is going to explain what setting is best for what type of picture. So you go and you try it and you experiment and you see what you like. You know, do I like what the manual says? Maybe I do, but maybe I don't. But you try it yourself. On there is a magic button that says delete. If you don't like something, delete, delete, delete. Scrap the crap, it's gone. When I go out somewhere, I take a test shot. So I try it and I look at it. There's a picture of a beaver. Okay, I went up and it was a dark, dull day. I'm trying to get a picture and I'm not seeing it right. So I wanted a picture with him on the shore with his tail. So as he swam around, I took different shots and then adjusted. I changed it until I went, hey, okay, this is good. I like it. I got it right. I had to learn by trial and error. And as I'm doing that, he comes out on the shore, sits up on the bank. I've got a picture with his tail. He's having a good scratch. I got a picture of his teeth because he's smiling. But it's all about the journey. It's all about trying. Where to go? Where do I go to get these pictures? So the first place to try is I have bird feeders in the backyard. I practice these settings. Blue jays and chickadees are the most cooperative subjects you're ever going to come across. And once in a while, you're going to get a surprise come to your feeder. One night, a Virginia opossum came to our feeder. Never seen a marsupial before. What I did though, because it was night, for a source of light, we used a flashlight and got a great picture. Where else do you go? Provincial parks, wildlife preserves, conservation areas. You can also go to city parks, a flooded farmer's field. In the wintertime, when the lake's frozen, the harbor's the only open water birds can find. I get pictures there. In the springtime, if I want a picture of the moose, I go to Algonquin in the spring because the time of year and habitat will affect what you're going to see. So I have to learn about that subject. Public library, an excellent resource for information on wildlife. It's also a good resource for information on photography. Tips from other people. I've joined Facebook groups. I look at eBird on the internet. I talk to naturalists. So what's happened is I'm learning, and I'm fortunate enough that I've met some really interesting people as well. Respect nature and be safe. Take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints. You know, leave that beauty intact. Don't litter. You know, if that picture had a coffee cup or a tin can in it, your whole picture's ruined. Let's leave things the way we find it for other people. Don't trespass. Respect other people's property. Treat it like you would your own. Don't trespass. And you gotta stay safe. Oh, I always carry my cell phone, right? One time I went to this, it was a hot spot. It was just, I opened the car door and I can hear great egrets. I get there and there's great blue herons are nesting in the trees. There's American bitterns, there's green herons. It was just fantastic. I go back to the car, no keys, I've locked them in the car. I had my cell phone, I could call CAA. You know, I've fallen and I've broken my wrist before. The short story goes, I had to pee. black ice, broken wrist, peed my pants, but my camera was safe. So you need to be aware. Be aware of where you are. You know, there's things like ticks. There's clay. Clay can be slippery as ice. Poison ivy. Animals can carry distemper. In this hunting season, wear orange so people can see you. You know, watch for landmarks so you don't get disoriented. Dress appropriately. A good pair of hiking boots is a wise investment. I carry sunscreen, insect repellent. Bottom line, plan ahead, be aware, enjoy yourself, and don't get hurt. And I think I mentioned at the beginning that I want to reflect spirituality, the spirituality and nature that I feel. So pictures will take on a very, very personal meaning for me. The doe in this picture, and the next picture as well, it's a story of my friend Case and Diane. Case and Diane. Diane was diagnosed with cancer. So every day I would sit out back and I would send her a text message, something inspirational. And we were texting back and forth, and we were talking about faith. You know, she knew that she was going to die, so faith was important. And this doe appeared at the edge of the yard, and I kind of thought, it's telling me it's going to take care of her. You know, and over the time as she got sicker, the text messages got shorter. It became GIFs, GIFs. And she would always reply. Every day there'd be a reply, until one day that there wasn't. And I found out later that was the day she passed away. And I had been sitting in my quiet place, and this great blue heron did something really unusual. Instead of flying away, it flew towards me, and it landed on that railing. And I snapped a picture, and later on I realized that was her gift to me that day. That was her. And I thought, why didn't I see that doe? Well, I did see the doe. It was 3 days later, and all I had, it was standing at the side of the road looking at me. I rolled down the window and I took the picture. It looked at me and it walked off, and I knew that she was safe, in heaven, that she was looked after. That should have been the end of the story, but this is a love story. This is the story of Case and Diane. What Diane had wanted to do was she had wanted to form a group where we could talk about spirituality and inspiration and faith. So we decided after she passed, we'd form that group anyways, and her husband Case was part of that group. During the time we were doing it, we shared a lot of personal stuff. We got really, really close. So when we got the news that Case had been diagnosed with terminal cancer as well and was given 2 weeks, it just was I couldn't comprehend it. And I sat there and I'm watching these swans. I'm trying to figure this out, and they swam up together and they circled each other, and their necks formed a perfect heart. There we are, we do the heart. And swans mate for life. And it dawned on me, I kind of went, Case and Diane are going to be together forever. And it lifted a weight. It lifted a weight from me. In closing, I'd like to say, don't get discouraged. You know, stay positive, keep trying. You know, you're not going to get that perfect picture every time. But you know, if you go outside and you get some fresh air and you get some exercise, you try something new on your camera you haven't done before. You know, you enjoy yourself. You've had a good day. It's been a good day. And I always try and be grateful Grateful for nature, grateful for all those things, that big and small. It comes in many shapes, many beauty. I'm grateful for the people that have given me encouragement. My husband, Tony, and my dog, Sophie. Every step of the way, they've been on this journey with me. You know, the Kingston Frontenac Public Library for allowing me to talk to you. Georgina Riel, she suggested my name. I didn't know I could do this. You know, if I can do this, you guys can, you know. My friend Melanie for her technical advice. Trust me, I needed it. And my daughter Sarah, who gave me lots and lots of encouragement. I want to thank each and every one of you who are watching, and I want to wish you the best on your journey. Thank you.